Welcome to Ilharg, the God Boar. As far as opening hand goes, yes, I like it. We've got a one-lander in here, but I like everything that we've got going on. We've got Gauntlet of Might, Ruby Medallion. We have an option to drop down with Ilharg that is definitely going to take care of, be a really good thing against Sai to get rid of some of those Thopters. So I'm definitely happy about this opening hand. It's going to lead off with Flamekin Village. We don't have an Elemental. No, we don't. Sorry, Flamekin. And then we could, yeah, let's just go ahead and go Mana Crypt. And go for Ruby Medallion really quick, and then opponent's going to be like, oh, okay, I see how it is. Playing against Mono Red Infinity and Commander. Go for Ruby Medallion, and then anything else we're going to go and pass the turn to our opponent. So we're playing Ilharg, the God Boar Trample. Whenever Ilharg attacks, you may put a creature card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped and attacking, then return that creature to your hand at the beginning of the next in-step. And if Ilharg dies, let's choose tails on this one. Won the flip. We are 1 for 1 on those Mana Crypt triggers. And if Ilharg dies, then it's going to be 1, 2, 3. We cannot go for Hedron. Do we want to gamble? Yeah, I think we need to gamble for a land. So let's go ahead and go Flamekin. And let's get this pumped down. I think we just need another red source, to be perfectly honest. Fingers crossed it's not going to get... Oh, okay. We whiff on Hedron Archive, but we've got Gauntlet of Might, so we can start working towards that. And anything else, we'll kick it back over there. And also, if something ends up happening to Ilharg, let's say he dies or exiles, we put him third from the top in the library, or we can send him back to the command zone. Just kind of depends on what we've got going. Play against Sai, Master Thopterist. So whenever you cast an artifact spell, create a 1/1 colorless Thopter creature token with flying. Then for a 2-mana activation, sacrifice 2 artifacts, draw a card, which it's going to choose tails on this one. We are 2 for 2 on those Mana Crypt triggers. Oh, yeah. I'll take it. And 1, 2, 3, 4. So, yeah, let's go and drop in Ilharg. Let's just be aggressive on this one. I kind of like that. We have the reduced cost off Ruby Medallion. We've got Thundermaw Hellkite to drop in, which is going to be really... We probably might end up holding on to Thundermaw Hellkite, but if we end up just dropping in Balefire Dragon, it's going to be really hard for our opponent to stop that. But yeah, if you ever see me play Sai Master Thopterist, and I always get some comments of like, Jolt, why didn't you sacrifice those 2 artifacts to draw a card? I always forget that Sai has that activated ability, so... That just happens. We did cover both commanders. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors, MTGOTraders. If you need to get into Magic Online, whether it's Commander, Modern, Legacy, Penny Dreadful, there's a whole bunch of really fun. Opponent does have Maze of Ith. But at least the cool thing is that whenever it attacks, we get to put a creature card from our hand onto the battlefield. So we'll at least give them the option of untapping Balefire Dragon. So let's go and choose tails on this one. If you're keeping score at home, we're 3 for 3 on those Mana Crypt triggers. And... feels pretty good. Do we want to go... So let's go Mere Battlesphere, now that I think about it. So we're going to be able to swing in with Ilharg, because I just want to get some creatures on it. Let's get Thopters versus Mirrors. I think that sounds pretty cool. If you're new to the channel, one of the things I like to do is I like to have some fun. So let's just... Because if we go Balefire Dragon, they're probably going to go Maze of Ith. But at least by getting down Mere Battlesphere, we'll just get a few more creatures on the battlefield. Then try to get in for 4. Okay, so we're going to get these colorless mirror tokens on the battlefield, and then we'll see who they decide to go for with Maze of Ith. And then next turn, another thing that we might end up honestly trying to do is kind of, maybe signal that the coast is clear, that we're just trying to go for Mere Battlesphere. And then next turn, let's say they dump a bunch of artifacts or something like that, we can go for Thundermaw just to kind of clean it up. So now with... Yeah, so this is also what I was talking about. Ilharg, it doesn't get that attack trigger, so whenever Mere Battlesphere attacks, it says tap any number of mirrors you control. It gets +X/+0 until end of turn. So this is a really good example of if you drop in a creature with Ilharg, you're not going to be able to get that whenever this creature attacks trigger. So we couldn't tap to add those mirrors, but you can see where the advantage of using something like Ilharg is... end up with some really nice, extra tokens on the battlefield. Those do kind of stick around. Now, we did not end up going for Gauntlet of Might. We've only got 1 mountain at this point right now, and I kind of just want to leave up a Chaos Warp at this point to kind of stop, in case something nutty happens from our opponent's side of the battlefield. But we'll probably end up dropping in Thundermaw Hellkite for next turn. I think that'll be pretty good. And oh yeah, also shout out to inkgaming.com. Use coupon code JOLT, or go to the website, type in JOLT539 to see some of my playmat designs, and you can get 10% off your order. Help the channel at the same time. And last but not least, I started a Patreon. So if you'd like to get your name at the beginning or the ending of the credits, there's a link down in the description below, but no pressure to do so. But if you do, hey, much obliged. I appreciate it. So Now it's officially free time. We can have some fun. All right, and our opponent's going to be passing the turn over to us. Yeah, I think we needed to kind of force the issue with Thundermaw Hellkite. The good thing about Thundermaw is that once we go for that Ilharg attack, declared attacker, there's not really anything that Maze of Ith can do. The main thing is we're going to get rid of those Thopter tokens. It's going to clear the way for us to swing in, especially with those mirrors. So let's go and choose Tails on this Mana Crypt trigger. 4 for 4 on those Mana Crypts. And then we finally hit another mountain. And in fact, I think let's go and go Gauntlet of Might, because that'll finally put us in a position to where we can get down Gauntlet of Might. That's going to give our red creatures +1/+1. That's really going to help out Ilharg. And also just drop in Thundermaw Hellkite and still have Chaos Warp active for us. So let's go and push in with the entire crew. We're going to get the mirrors coming in, get Ilharg swinging in. And once we drop in Thundermaw Hellkite, oh yeah, look at that. That's going to... anytime Thundermaw Hellkite drops in like this, I just love imagining it flying in like an aerial formation and just dropping out of the clouds on something like Avatar and just getting rid of all the flying creatures. So we've got Thundermaw Hellkite dropping into the battlefield, and looks like our opponent's going to be casting a spell with maybe Weir of Invention potentially. Let's see what they're tapping out for. Alright, so opponent's going to go Weir of Invention for 3. So let's see what they search up off of this. Alright, so opponent goes Weir of Invention for Videlican Shackles, was actually not too bad. There's 3 islands over there, but we do need to keep in be aware of that. And they're going to go for Maze of Ith on Ilharg, so at least that'll be good for us to end up getting that extra trigger off of Thundermaw, getting rid of that Thopter token. We're going to be able to swing in for 6, and that's going to knock them down to 20. And if they wanted to, they could block on one of the mirrors with Psy, but, typically when I'm playing against mono red, and we have the opportunity to go for that, and, most of your red spells or deal 3 damage or something like that, and I wouldn't trade with Psy either. So some of the other cool things that you can kind of do with Ilharg, you can see where you can get that nice repeated enter the battlefield effect, dropping in Thundermaw Hellkite. Now this is really good against Psy in particular, but there's just other times where, let's say that you end up dropping in Zealous Conscripts. You can gain control of something like your opponent's Planeswalker, go for an extra activation, or, get your own ultimate. We have Zealous Conscripts in here. You can go for Duplicate, keep bringing it back to the hand to kind of force the issue of getting rid of some stuff, some good spot removal. We have Meteor Golem, so, that's one of those things where that's going to be our universal removal. So let's say that we find Meteor Golem, we can blast Videlican Shackles, Skull Clamp's going to come back to the hand. We have also cards like Inferno Titan. There's some times where we want to have Inferno Titan stick around. So we can use Inferno Titan, Conjurer's Closet to get that nice into the battlefield effect, bounce it, keep it on the battlefield. It's just a really fun deck. The cool thing about this deck is it's not bottlenecked all on Ilharg. When you're playing Psy, you need to have artifacts to cast to get Thopters, and then you need something like Skull Clamp to just really kind of start to go off. With Ilharg, the thing that makes this deck so good is that you can once you kind of get Gauntlet of Might going, you get some Ruby Medallions going, get some mana ramp, you're pretty much just being able to just drop these creatures in, hard casting them, so you don't have to kind of bottleneck it through Ilharg. So definitely a fan of that. Now, we do have some land destruction in here. I am running a lot of land destruction to stop stuff like Maze of Ith. So, and let's choose pretty sure we're 5 for 5 on that Mana Crypt trigger, and that is some good magic right there. So we do have Wild Guess. We can drop in another Balefire Dragon. That's going to get rid of Psy, but they're going to untap it if we end up doing that. Let's go for a quick Wild Guess, because the cool thing about this is we could just dump a creature card into the graveyard. And at this point right now, with only 3 islands, yeah, let's get rid of Mirror Battlesphere. Everything else that we may end up needing has some sort of end of the battlefield effect, and then if somehow they don't get Shackles. Okay, there we go, Field of Ruin, and that's exactly what we needed. So let's go Field of Ruin. That's going to be 2. We're going to pop a Maze of Ith, and the good thing about us sacrificing Field of Ruin, that's going to give us an additional mountain that comes into the battlefield untapped. Now, that does kind of work towards our Videlican Shackles with that extra damage, but at least we've kind of stopped that from happening. And in fact, let's go ahead and go Faithless Looting again. It's going to be 1/2. Ogre Battle Driver and Daredevil. Now, we cannot end up going, well, we might end up going for Weir of Invention if we need to. Could drop in a really nice artifact. Yeah, so let's discard. We'll get rid of Chaos Warp, and I think at this point we'll just get rid of Thundermare, because we're going to be able to deal with the rest of these creatures. It's going to be 1 more red mana, and we don't have the mana to go for Weir of Invention just yet. They get +1/+1. Let's go one more Faithless Looting. Hammer of Porphyros and Ghost Quarter. Okay, so let's go and get rid of Ghost Quarter, and since we do have we don't have Anger in the graveyard. I think at this point we'll just get rid of Direfleet Daredevil, and let's go and push in. We're going to push in with Ilharg. We finally got rid of that Maze of Ith, and we can start swinging in with these mirrors. Now we'll probably end up seeing our opponent block with side, just especially with them putting those. Yeah, let's just go and drop in Balefire Dragon, because that way we can at least get that last little combat step coming in. And this is what makes this deck so good, is that cards like Balefire Dragon, we're going to be swinging in, we're going to get this nice damage in, but once we deal that 7 up top to our opponent, we got 7 trample coming across, that's 14. We got 18 with the mirrors, and we were kind of played conservatively earlier in the game with Mirror Battlesphere, so you can just kind of make these board states that are really hard for your opponent to do anything. But I will say this, Thundermaw Hellkite against Sai is kind of like it's like when you're playing a graveyard deck and you're playing against a graveyard deck and you got some main board rest in pieces in there. It's just one of those like, oh, feels pretty good. All right, so opponent's going to stick around at 1 more life, and we're going to have to bring Balefire Dragon back to the hand, and there's nothing else that we can do at this point right now. So we'll simply just go and pass the turn to our opponent. So they're kind of on Cyclonic Rift at this point right now. That's going to be 5, 6. Yeah, they do have 7 mana, so if they can find Cyclonic Rift, that'll kind of delay us definitely for a turn. And, running the odds on getting 5. Let's see what the odds of getting 5 coin flips in a row. They're going to go for Myriad Landscape. And the odds of losing 5 coin flips in a row, I think it's like 1 out of 1,024. I don't know. Either way, it feels pretty good to always get 5 mana crypt triggers. All right, let's see. Our opponent ends up going for Myriad Landscape. Let's see what else they're going to do. They do have 7 cards in the hand, but with them being at 1, they're going to have to get rid of these mirror tokens and kind of stomp Ilharg. So, and Sai with Skull Clamp, that's pretty scary. And another thing that this deck can do is, as long as you're just in your opponent's face, we were able to, let's choose to, we're 6 or 6 on those mana crypt triggers. Another thing that this deck likes to do is you're just in your opponent's face. You don't give your opponent enough time to do any sort of setting up, and it's hard to get anything moving after that. So let's go mana crypt. That's going to be a reduced cost of Ogre Battle Driver. And then that's going to give us another option to just drop in Thundermaw Hellkite. And I think we're good with that. Just in case there's some sort of, I don't know what we're trying to play around. We'll at least kind of go Thundermaw Hellkite. And at this point, we're just dumping some stuff onto the battlefield. So we're going to get an extra haste option off of Ogre Battle Driver. And then we're going to go for, we do have more than enough mana to drop in Hammer of Porphyros. So we're going to go for Hammer of Porphyros. That's going to be 2, let's go Devotion to red. And that's another good thing. You're running something like Shrine in here, you end up with some pretty good devotion. So we're going to go Hammer of Porphyros, and then that's going to be, that should be good. So we're going to go and swing across on this one. It's going to give all of our creatures haste. And what we'll probably end up doing, if we end up getting Aetherize or something like that, we're only going to send in a... So they're going to gain control of Ilharg. That's going to be a 7/7, but I think we're going to be able... I like that. All right, so we're going to swing in with the entire crew, and that's at least going to be 8 in the air. We got 4. All right, there we go. Shout out to our opponent for gaining control of Ilharg, just having him go on that side of the battlefield. But yeah, like I mentioned, our opponent did end up getting down Skull Clamp. That's really good with Sai. But one of the things this deck especially wants to do in 1v1 commander is just never give your opponent a chance to breathe. That's just basically keep swinging turn after turn, dropping in creatures, Thundermaw Hellkite, and it's going to get rid of options for Skull Clamp. This is exactly what this deck wants to do. Now, as far as the multiplayer setting, I still think Ilharg is pretty good. You may want to kind of change around the creature base, but especially in 1v1 commander, it's just kind of like mono red stompy. It's almost like a mono green stompy deck. You're just having that same core concept of getting a lot of mana really quick and then just never giving your opponent a chance to kind of rebuild or rebound from any sort of option. So anyways, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye.